Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. We're going to have a weekly rant. It's been a while since I've actually recorded a video, but I thought we would talk about three topics here. We're going to talk about Candice Bure and the controversy around her remarks for leaving Hallmark and the Great American Family Network and their kind of lack of LGBT content. We're also going to discuss the news about Bob Chapek leaving Disney, and with Bob Iger coming back, and really discuss how this happened and give my take on the situation. We already know a lot of it, but I just want to make sure we're on the same page. And then I also want to talk, since we're talking about Disney and the kind of leadership change, is to talk about the Disney Starcruiser Hotel and the opportunity that other companies have with other IPs to compete against them. And I just want to throw out a few ideas. Hopefully you'll get excited. Maybe share some of your ideas for competing against that. But first, let's start with Candice Bure and her remarks in regards to an article with the Wall Street Journal where she was asked if the network will feature movies with LGBT characters. And she indicated that Great American Family will keep traditional marriage at its core. After the article was posted, that caused lots of controversy, and then she followed up with a response that indicated, I would like to address my comments on the Great American Family programming as reported by the Wall Street Journal. As all of you know beyond a question that I have great love and affection for all people. It absolutely breaks my heart that anyone would ever think that I intentionally would want to offend or hurt anyone. It saddens me that the media is often seeking to divide us, even around the subject as comforting and as merry Christmas movies. But given the toxic climate in our culture right now, I should not be surprised. We need Christmas now more than ever, she wrote. I'm a devoted Christian, which means I believe that every human being bears the image of God. And because of that, I am called to love all people, and I do. If you know me, you know that I am a person who loves fiercely and indiscriminately. My heart yearns to build bridges and bring people one step closer to God, to love others well, and to simply be the reflection of God's huge love for all of us. Now, she indicated to the media responsible for using this opportunity to fan flames of conflict and hate, I have a simple message. I love you anyways. To those who hate what I value and who are attacking me online, I love you. To those who have tried to assassinate my character, I love you. To everyone reading this, any race, creed, sexuality, or political party, including those who have tried to bully me and name call me, I love you. Now, after leaving the network, Candice also was in another interview where she indicated it's complete about the Great American Family Network from Hallmark. She said it's a completely different network than when I started because now this is her referring to Hallmark and how it had changed. She says it's a completely different network when I started because of the leadership change. My heart wants to tell stories that have more meaning and purpose and depth behind them. I knew that the people behind Great American Family were Christians that love the Lord and wanted to promote faith programming and good family entertainment. Now, when Variety did an interview with Candice and asked about comments in regards to LGBT content, she indicated that this year we're absolutely focusing on Christmas, and I'm sure as the channel continues to build content, and that's Great American Family, it will include other holidays. But I know that at the core audience, what they love is exactly how Bill, and that's Bill Abbott, who was originally the in charge of Hallmark, originally built the Hallmark Channel, and that was Christmas and those traditional holidays. So that's the focus. What's going to be for Great American Family? You got to start somewhere. You can't do everything at once. When asked if the conversation had been discussed about same-sex storylines, she indicated that it had not been specifically discussed, and it isn't completely up to her because there's a board that are behind all those decisions, but of course that will be talked about. Now, when Bill Abbott who is the new leadership of the Great American Family and previously leadership of Hallmark, was asked about LGBT content. He indicated it's certainly the year 2022, so we're all aware of the trends. There's no whiteboard that says yes or no, we'll never go there. So basically, Abbott, knowing that you have to have a certain particular answer, you don't want to alienate anyone, even if you are going to have, let's say, more conservative content, is probably the right kind of answer for their business. Now, I think it's also important to look at what happened around 2021 with the Hallmark Channel. Now, the Hallmark Channel released their first gay movie, and I pulled an article or comments from Movie Guide. And anyone not familiar with Movie Guide, they are a Christian kind of a site that works hard to provide Christians with the tools they need to make informed decisions about the movies, television programs they watch. We believe that good media can inspire people to do great things, and supporting Movie Guide to help them change Hollywood for the better. So, now Movie Guide released a statement once Hallmark had announced that they were releasing a gay movie. And this is a statement they released, and it's important to kind of give the narrative of, what people see as, let's say, Christians' view in regards to LGBT content and being visible, and where they feel also Candice also kind of aligns. So, after significant pressure from the liberal agenda, Hallmark will debut the first Christmas movie with a gay storyline on November 22nd. The movie, Christmas House, that stars Mean Girls' Jonathan Bennett as a gay man summoned home by his parents just in time for the holidays. The plot reportedly will focus on Bennett's character and his husband's journey to adopt a child. While the actors praise the movie as progressive, the reality is that the storyline, like this, alienate one of Hallmark's largest and most passionate audiences, conservative Christians. Before this year, the channel provided movies with wholesome storylines, often included strong biblical worldviews, mentions of Jesus and the Nativity, and Christmas hymns that remind us of the reason for the season. Audiences could count on formulaic, feel-good plot that was safe for families to watch. It's unfortunate that Hallmark has felt bullied by gay advocacy groups into including plot points that appease gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer community. Now, when Candice mentions like the words of like traditional and family values, and to see like this site and group Movie Guide also indicate that, but put it also very transparent so about how they feel that gay content or gay characters or even being gay and seeing it is not something that they want to see. And everyone does have the right to see the things that they want to see. I will say that. But I'm just going to give my take in regards to this controversy, and hopefully you'll leave comments in regards to what you think. With the recent shooting at a gay club in Colorado, it reminds us that the fight is not over, and also reminds us of the hate that still exists towards LGBTQ individuals. And unfortunately, the hate exists for many minorities. Now, a lot of people thought after gay marriage rights that they were the law of the land, that the fight was over, and a lot of people didn't know what to do. But unfortunately, if you know America and you know many of the communities, there are still pockets which still have very limited views in regards to gay individuals. In many communities, you could still be killed for being gay. Yes, it's against the law, but the hatred is still there. I remember being young and actually in my teens and living where I lived and being feared that I could be killed. I remember walking from school and having someone try to run me over. And individual did know I was gay, but who knows if that was a driving factor, and they had family problems. I hold no hate towards those things, but I do know personally the experience of being hated just because of a part of you that they disagree with. So I think it's very important to have representation in some form or fashion. Now, I don't believe in forcing it, but I do believe that it's important to have that representation so it's visible, because people, once they're exposed, hopefully will have less fear and hate and will be more educated in regards to that queer people are just like anyone else. They have same kind of desires and wants, and they are not here to hurt or take anything away from anyone. I think we have to let other people live the lives that they want if they're not harming anyone. And I believe the same in this other side. Like, you can believe what you want, but you can do that in your space. And that's why I know this can be controversial. I'm not 100% opposed to, let's say, Great American Family having more Christian content. I do not want to force someone to have me at their party. Like, if I was invited to a party, or not invited, I should say, and I forced them, while I'm there, I'm not going to feel welcomed, to be honest. I'm just going to feel it's being done just to appease me. And I think there's also animosity towards the other individuals that develop, where potentially it could become larger in scope than I would like. Uh, Now, we are seeing movies remove queer scenes, especially in other countries. And particularly most recently, Black Panther has had to do that in order to get released in other countries. Um, so, another part of this is when you don't show gay people, LGBT people, as part of the family unit, it makes it easier to push them away. I think many people look at content such as Great American Family Network and Hallmark um, as kind of references for their own families and the ideal image that they probably should achieve. And when you don't see gay people in there, and you have maybe a child who comes out, for you, you're like, this doesn't fit the image that I envisioned or that has been projected to me. And then you remove that person from your family. And I think it creates more hate and hurt uh, towards young adults. And I think that there's lots of people who are young today who don't really feel that or see that. But unfortunately, it does exist. And I don't think many people, because of maybe social media and getting things fed to them in just their own little echo chambers, realize that things like this exist. Uh, I see lots of comments in regards to people say, these are things are just being blown out of proportion. Now, I think that there's some things to talk about that, because I don't want to throw hate towards Candice. I feel forcing people to believe what you believe or see things the way you do doesn't help them learn or grow. I've kind of changed my mind about cancel culture, because I think that once you cut off a person and they make a mistake, what room are you having for them to learn and grow, and through their journey help other people learn and grow with them? So I think that we should have conversations with these people and start sharing our thoughts. Now, Candace may not believe what I believe. It's very interesting to me that she, indicates that she loves everyone and all of that, but at the same time has a part of her that alienates or pushes away certain people. Now, I guess I could say the same thing, because when I've been to Christian churches and have met Christian individuals, and it's not for everyone, but just my experience with certain Christian individuals, especially people who identify very strongly that, hey, I'm Christian. It starts off very friendly and everything, and then I get introduced to, let's say, maybe going to church, and one of the church experiences I went to with my friend, there was a part where they indicated, we're going to talk about sex, and we're going to talk about sex the way it's meant to be between a man and a woman. And then my friend afterwards, like, was very heavy-handed about judging me and my life. So I have certain feelings there as well, so I understand, preconceived notions, but I'm still willing to have conversations and learn and expose, myself, and hopefully have them learn that not all gay people are what they kind of envisioned or were taught. Um, I think a lot of people have issue with Candice's comments because they're very similar to the messages of other individuals or groups that kind of push gay individuals from being seen or heard. I think there's a space where we can still have this content where gay individuals can be featured in the movies. And I'm not saying that, everyone's going to enjoy it or it's for everyone. I personally don't gravitate towards Christian content myself. But if someone said, hey, want to watch a movie in regards to this, I'm not going to intentionally try to push myself away. I think there's always something that can be learned. But that's my kind of thought on there. And hopefully, we'll have more conversations and hopefully we'll be civil. I also want to talk about moving on from that topic. And if you have comments, you can leave them below. Maybe you disagree with me in regards to that. I also want to talk about Disney stock being down and Bob Jacob being gone. Now, Bob Iger is back, and a lot of people are celebrating. I think it's important for us to look at some articles in regards to how this happened. Now, some articles indicate that the deciding factor was to oust Chapek after his weak performance during an earnings call in November of 2022. Oh my gosh, which was really recent. So that was like a quick decision. Now, Chapek discussed the necessity of cost-saving measures during a call, but only outlined what these plans would be later in the week. He then proposed a hiring freeze and layoffs, and according to some reports, Disney's HR department had not been informed about these plans or that they would be announced, which was ringing alarm bells throughout the company. Now, they also indicated that his handling of the call and its aftermath was the more bigger part for his removal rather than the company's low earnings. Now that's kind of interesting because after the call, they did indicate that the stock had dropped, but they indicated also that Disney had reported a 1.5 billion loss in streaming. Wasn't just felt by the board that they were concerned about, but it was also Chapek's actions, like we talked about after the call, after the company subsequently suffered a 13% drop, and they contributed to the decision to actually announce his departure. Now, Bob Chapek has some controversy around him because, one, running the theme park division, he was known for cost-cutting measures. I think lots of the kind of, what do they call it? Oh my gosh. When they reface the rides instead of, let's say, building new things. And you see Disney kind of doing a lot of that. Now, also, he's responsible for, I think, the kind of price point for the Starcruiser hotel, which has been lackluster at best, and the crazy upcharges at the parks, paying more and getting less. The Disney Plus Marvel content, and trying to invest heavily in that, which to me is not too bad, but apparently having it so Marvel heavily driven has kind of tarnished Marvel. And to be honest, Star Wars content is not creating the same buzz that it used to. Now, unfortunately, Bob Chapek's attempts at earning more money was very kind of apparent to consumers because you were just squeezing their wallet and not giving them anything new. And in turn, it was tarnishing Disney's image. Now, workers, even under Bob Iger, have always suffered, and Disney is not known for maybe treating their workers the best. But the magic of Disney is what keeps everyone coming, and unfortunately, it has not been so good for Disney. Now, in my opinion, Bob Jacob should have been gone a long time ago. Um, there may have been some that were confident as he was selected by Bob Iger. Immediately after he was hired, a lot of people were concerned as Chapek was known for his very frugal behavior at the parks. Like I talked about, refacing rides and other things. I think that removing him was the right move because the ship was definitely sinking and there was kind of no change in any direction to be known or seen for its future. Now, other companies, I'm just going to transition a bit here, could learn from this. Now, Six Flags CEO has taken a lot from Bob Jacobs' playbook, really charging more and giving less to their consumers. But the only difference between Disney and Six Flags is that they have a really established brand and loyal fan base, where with Six Flags, cutting out things and charging more is not going to really entice individuals to still attend your parks, because what are you really giving me that's brand new? What's the experience that I'm really having other than seeing people fight in the parks and operations kind of being not so great? And also, as you're kind of cutting down attendance because you're raising prices, you're also having less staff, which means less shops opened. Me, as a consumer, walking in the theme parks, looking at that, I definitely can tell. And it gives me the sense when I pay for something, I'm paying a premium price and I'm seeing lots of shops closed, so I know I'm missing out and not getting the full value of Six Flags. So that's a problem. And the other issue is, the CEO of Six Flags has indicated they want to change it to more of a family experience, try to align with maybe Disney and compete with them there. Again, sorry, hit my mic. But your park has been so built heavily throughout all the years on thrill rides. Now, how can you really do that? And you need to invest heavy. And you indicated during earnings call that that's exactly what you're not going to do. You're not going to invest. So if you don't have the money to invest into the audience that you want to attract, then you shouldn't be going down that path right now. So I expect that Six Flags, to be honest, is going to have a similar announcement to Disney where that CEO is going to be stepping away. But who knows for Six Flags if it's going to be too late, because it just keeps getting worse and worse. Now, they do have another season coming back, but right now, there's no new rides really I saw really announced for all their parks, which, okay, budgetary wise in the pandemic, sure, get it. But maybe you could do tiny rides or something. Because it's not looking good for you, Six Flags. And if you learn anything by Bob Jacob being removed from Disney, your decision to follow a CEO who's making the same decisions as that Disney CEO, where Disney can actually have some room because they have their entertainment division and all that, and he's kind of burning the ship and it was sinking. Well, you have nothing else to rely on, so hopefully you come to the conclusion rather sooner than later that your CEO is crappy and needs to be removed. It was funny because they said, like, we're going to raise prices and get more earnings. And for Disney, it was working at their parks, to be honest. But Six Flags, it was having the exact opposite effect. It just took Disney this long to realize it because their greed got the best of them. And I don't think that's going to change too much, to tell you the truth, because why they're going to turn down money that they're making. So we're going to see what happens there. But yeah, Six Flags, definitely warning sign to you that you need change. So all of this with Six Flags and Disney, maybe think about like Disney Starcruiser Hotel, which has been deemed overpriced, and really, when you keep on going back to it, it doesn't have the same kind of content, repeat kind of viewing or experience that one would expect. And this made me think, if I were other companies and I'm on the board, we're going to pretend, I would propose certain projects to take place, at least in development right now, to compete with the Starcruiser. Now, some people say, why would you want to bother to compete with something that's not even doing well? Well, because the idea is not bad, the execution was terrible. So I list top three. I saved the best one, I think, for last, which is kind of the most obvious one. But I think, for example, number one and number three actually being, let's start with number three. Number three would be Willy Wonka Factory. Now, for this, families could stay at Willy Wonka's factory and experience the tour of the factories. You can have some crazy ride and experiences, both visually and immersive, um, throughout your visit. You could enjoy various rooms in the factory where you can actually unlock and earn items to other secrets within the factory. You can enjoy food inspired by the movies and Willy Wonka themselves. And then you could shop at exclusive shops within the actual hotel, all themed to Willy Wonka. And it would be a nice experience for the family and kids to have something where they could experience together. And I think the colorful nature of this and being able to have these different kind of adventure rooms and things like that to explore the factory is something really that could be a really good experience. So that's my first idea. My second idea is in the same realm as the Starcruiser is Star Trek and actually experiencing going on the Enterprise as a hotel. Now, I think that in some capacity these things have been done, but hear me out. So, you could be transported to the starship, and almost like the Starcruiser, it starts where you're kind of going on the transport to getting your luggage on these transports, and then being transported in space to the Enterprise. Now, from your arrival to the Enterprise, you'll be given uniforms to be members of the crew. Now, you can enjoy missions to various locations. Now, they can set up little sets where you can actually travel to alien worlds. Or you can enjoy missions throughout the ship. You could do puzzles to repair and figure out mysteries in the ship. Be a part of the bridge crew, engineering crew, or in the med bay to experience, let's say, a battle altogether and exploration. You could incorporate science and learning in regards to it. You could also have adventures where individuals will partake in driving a shuttle mission where they're exploring and excavating other areas of space. You could be, like I said, a part of attack on the starship, working all together throughout the various areas that you're assigned to actually engage and defeat the enemy that you have. You even could have a portion where enemies actually board the spaceship and Enterprise, and you have to defeat them as well. You could witness damage to the ship from internal perspective of the outward battle. You can enjoy the mess hall and eat in regards to the various foods there, and then make a stop the Enterprise at Deep Space Nine to enjoy food and other shopping experiences. So I kind of think this has lots of different experiences that could be tailored to it because you really think about the episode of the TV show, it was one ship and all these various things happening. And you could introduce all these experiences of maybe each year have a different kind of thing that's introduced, a new feature that's added to the experience of the Star Trek Enterprise experience. So let me know what you think in regards to that. Kind of like that you're provided like a uniform, that you feel part of the immersive experience, that you're all partaking in the minute that you get assigned there. You're kind of like given, where you're to report to, and be able to start your mission and working in the ship. Now, my final one, which is kind of obvious, is actually have Harry Potter the Hogwarts actual experience. And now, what I like about this is that Florida is so heavily saturated with all these theme parks. And yes, you can have a Harry Potter Hogwarts hotel there, or school there for everyone to experience. But you even could put it in the Upper East Coast as well, or even on the West Coast, where individuals can be transported via train to Hogwarts and then get to experience actually going through the school. You get your hat where it decides what, oh my gosh, I forgot what it's called, which party you'll be a part of. Sorry for the incorrect kind of lingo there. I imagine going on adventures throughout the school and discovering secrets either from past movies, past characters who are now gone. You even could have holiday events in regards to there, which actually keeps this, experience and this hotel constantly wanting to have individuals come back, because unlike the Starcruiser, who's just kind of repeating things and that's the important thing with even Willy Wonka and Star Trek, is always to have important kind of events and things that are going to keep people coming back, and being able to see, like, say, Hogwarts during, let's say, Christmas or Halloween, and getting that experience to want to come back during these times for special events is something really to be said. I know that they have the Harry Potter Forest experience, which actually does have very positive reviews from what I read. So hopefully an investment in something like this, which is pretty obvious to me, um, is really great. I mean, getting your uniforms for the school, wearing those and going around. Each year you could come back and you're advancing in your grade level. You start off as a freshman the first year, and that's 4 years of potential, however long they attend school, that you could have for investing in experiences on top of the holiday events. So there's so many things here. And you could, as you grow up, you could bring your kids to experience the same thing and go through that kind of journey and share that experience together. And I really think that this is like pretty amazing, because then even outside of the land, you could have other things to experience on the property of Hogwarts as well, not only confined to an indoor space, which I thought is very good for the Harry Potter kind of franchise and hotel experience. So those are my 3 ideas to potentially compete with the Starcruiser. And to tell you the truth, I feel confident that every single one, like Willy Wonka, okay, maybe on par, and I hate to say that with Starcruiser, with the Star Wars Starcruiser experience. I think that the Star Trek one, though Star Trek maybe not as popular kind of movie-wise and box office-wise, probably could give the Starcruiser a pretty good run for its money, considering, how many movies and actual content and games there are building upon this world, and also especially the ship and the possibilities where they could go in that experience. Like you have for Starcruiser, you have the First Order, and it's kind of like, okay, that's just your bad guy. Well, for Star Trek and the Enterprise experience, I could fight the Klingons, I could fight the Romulans, I could fight the Borg, I could travel to, let's say, another kind of space station. I could, maybe drive a shuttle. There's so many things that you could do in regards to it. So I think that's really great. And the Harry Potter one, kind of obvious. I think Universal, hopefully you'll be able to get on that. So right now, those are my ideas for those competition. I want to also go through, eventually maybe going through a theme park that I think a Hollywood studio that could probably create their own theme park and compete in some areas in regards to Disney. So let me know what you think. If you like the content that you just saw, hit the like button, leave a comment, subscribe, and watch other videos. Until next time, I hope that you all stay safe and well, and thank you for watching. Bye.